Hello everybody, welcome to my first ever Corona vlog. Let I start off by saying that I do not have the coronavirus. I don't suspect that I have it or will develop it in the next few weeks, no idea. But I am working from home. I have been working from home since the 17th of March, I think. And will probably continue to do so for another few months, depending on how long this thing lasts. I just wanted to talk about that experience and what I've seen and heard so far. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to work on getting ready with myself, as they call that, getting ready with me, so I can put on some stuff. Now usually I don't tend to put on a whole face of makeup, I just put on some mascara and that's about it. But I'm going to try to do the whole foundation thing. I'm not going to do the whole baking routine like you see on makeup channels, just a little bit to get like my skin looking a little bit less freckly, because of course the spring is here, that means more sunshine. So while I'm talking to you, I'm going to be looking at this for the most part. Anyway, so as I said, I've been working from home in the Netherlands for about, what is it now, 2 weeks or something? It's the 16th, 17th. Well, the 16th of March, all the people of my province in the Netherlands were advised to work from home if they could, because there are too many cases of people getting coronavirus in my province where they couldn't really trace where it had come from. So people were asked to stay home if they could. And since I was one of two people at my company, and still am one of two people at my company who worked in that province or live in a province, we got to work home first of all. And then about, I want to say a week later, all the other people who lived in different areas of the country also started working from home if they had like a sniffle or didn't feel so well, because that's what the Dutch government had requested. And that means I've been home here for quite some time, only really going outside for groceries, etc., as is the demand, or rather request I should say, from the Dutch government. The Dutch government calls it, I think, intelligent lockdown or intelligent quarantine. Not really sure what they call it. Just gonna do this part here real quick. I wish they mean to say they think that the Dutch populace is intelligent enough to figure out if the trip outside that they're about to undertake is critical or not. I don't know if that's the case for all of it, for all of the Dutch population. Most people are adhering to these recommendations, but also there are people who go outside for no particular reason. Just gonna put some over here, thank you very much. And I don't know what these people are thinking. Probably that they won't catch anything anyway, and if they do, then they're young and everything, and they probably won't have like an issue with it because they don't have any underlying health things going on, which actually gives you a false sense of security, because there are younger people, like between 20 and 40, who are also getting coronavirus and who are also getting very serious cases of COVID-19, who apparently are not having a great time and had no underlying conditions before. I'm touching my face. Shouldn't do that, not just when you're doing makeup as well. So there, but people are supposed to keep, I guess in the US they would call that 6 feet distance. In the Netherlands it's 1.5 meters, which is roughly the same distance. And I'm gonna start with, I didn't bring a brush, okay fine, I'll do my hands. I was gonna do some of this, by the way. Can you see that mini breaker palette? I like purples. As you can see, I've got a bit of an aubergine type sweater on. Let's see if I can do it with my fingers then, because I'm going to wash my hands after this anyway. So yes, what was I saying? Yeah, it's not just old people that have an issue with the coronavirus. Not really sure what colors I want. Anyway, let's do something crazy that I normally wouldn't do, which is pretty much the entire palette, but that's fine. Okay, so yes, people think that that won't affect them because they are younger than 60. But of course we've seen cases of people being very much affected and having a lot of issues, respiratory issues. Personally, I don't have any underlying issues either. I think if I were to catch it, I would be okay, ultimately. But the thing is, just because I'd be okay with it, I would probably make it through okay, doesn't mean that the person that I might be infecting will be okay with it. They may be older than me and they may have some underlying issues, or they may just have bad luck that they have none of these things, but they'll still be very much affected. I don't know what this is going to look like when I'm done, but that's okay. Anyway, so story time. People are supposed to keep their distance, and most people do. but some people either don't care or don't think about it. Like today I was walking the dog and there was somebody on a bicycle that I saw in the distance. So that was a delivery guy, he was delivering newspapers, and I'm thinking, oh, delivery guys, they probably come into contact with a lot of people and I need to keep my distance from this guy. So I start walking on the other side of the road because there's like a bicycle lane, a road for cars, and a bicycle lane. He was on this bicycle lane, so I switched to this bicycle lane with my dog because I was walking the dog. And I picked up the dog because I wanted to go back home and the dog wanted to go much further in the distance, and I was like, nope, we're done, we're going home. We don't need to be out here anymore than we absolutely have to. So yeah, I'm walking on the other side of the road and suddenly I hear the guy behind me saying, oh well, if I were carried every time I wouldn't mind going for a walk either, or something along those lines. So I'm like, oh great, he's here now. And he passed me like really close by, like didn't even go to the other end of the path. It's not a very wide path, but he could have gone a little bit further to the left, but instead he was just right on me pretty much, and he didn't stop or anything. But I was like, okay great. So first of all, he's not going like as far as he can, so the distance is already shorter than it should be. And on top of that, he's also talking to me, so there's more respiratory droplets in the air now. Great, how am I going to deal with that? So I didn't actually open my mouth, I just said, and then I just kind of stopped breathing for a while. I don't know if that helps, but I didn't want to inhale anything or whatever. So I was just going to try and get as much distance between him and me as possible. I put purple on my corner here, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do like a line underneath here. Purple is one of those colors that is very easy to mess up, particularly if you don't have a brush on you, like me. This is going to look crazy, but that's fine. I'm telling a story. So that was number one, and not 5 minutes later, I'm walking down the other road, like you take a right turn, and this is right for you guys, and you walk down the street, and then there's like a footpath, car road, footpath. I'm on this footpath, and the footpath is about 6 feet wide. So I'm like, okay, I don't see anybody, so I guess it's going to be alright. I'm just going to go straight home, and then we're going to call it a day until the next time the dog wants to go for a walk in any case. So, and occasionally this footpath has like a little side path you can go into to go to the parking lot where the cars are parked along the road. And so I thought, okay, if I see anybody coming up, then I'll just go into that path and then it'll be fine. But there was another guy coming towards me after a couple of minutes, and by the time I noticed him, I was in a stretch, like there's bushes between the parking lots and the sidewalk, so I couldn't like go anywhere because on one side you got like the fences of people's front yards, other side you got the bushes, and then there's just this little strip of 6 feet of pavement. I'm looking behind me like, can I go anywhere else? Nope, I can't. Otherwise I have to walk all the way back, which was not going to be a good idea. And this guy, even though he had a path that he could have gone into, to the right, his right, he just kept walking. Like, I'm like, okay, great. Don't you see me here? We made eye contact. You know I'm here, right? You know about the rule and everything, but nope. Didn't care, just kept going. Well, this looks fantastic, by the way. I'm probably going to fix that with a bit of extra foundation to try and make it look a little bit less crazy. But then again, purple, like I said, is always a great color for messing things up. At least when you're me, because I'm really good at that. Anyway, so that was that. I'm going to try to there we go, fix it a bit. Make it a little less chaotic. And there, other side. And also I went grocery shopping yesterday. That looks much better. And they had like a new rule, of course, because all the stores that have to be open also have to implement new rules to make sure that people distance themselves in the store. This is a grocery store, so people are going to be going down aisles, etc. So they were constantly cleaning the trolleys there, and you had to take a trolley. You couldn't just walk in and grab a basket like I usually do, because normally I don't need that much space. I don't really buy that much anyway. So they were there cleaning trolleys and saying, okay, you have to grab a trolley because we've counted out a certain number of trolleys, and that's the amount of people we are allowing in the store right now. So I grab a trolley, okay, fine. But then you have people who block the aisle with themselves, first of all, and then have their trolley next to them, which is like horizontally perpendicular to the aisle, if you know what I mean. So like you have an aisle that goes this way, and then there's this person standing right here. Oops, sorry. Like this, and then they have their cart like that. So it's like you can't go either way. You can't really come close to them to ask them to move because you need to have this distance and everything. It was like a whole game of avoiding everybody because you need to be in a certain aisle, and then there's somebody else there, so you can walk around in the other aisle to see if you can go along the other side, and he's still there, and then by the time you go back the other way around, there's somebody else. So you're just like playing a game, going all the way around, trying to not get in touch with anybody else or coming close to anybody else. It was a little bit difficult, to say the least. There aren't really any light colors that I could use for the center, because usually what I'll do is like a light color here and then fade it out. Not going to happen this time because I got this really dark purple here called Bite Me, and that can go right there. I can't really blend it out, of course, with my fingers, but I'm trying. It's not going to look great, but then again, that's not really the point of the video. So that was also an experience going shopping. So yeah, but I got everything I needed except for yeast, because the first thing that always ends up being used up in my house, of course, is bread, anything fresh. So instead of yeast, I got some beer, because beer has a type of yeast in it, and it's not quite the same. And I think the next time I'll use it for baking bread, I'll also add some baking soda, because baking soda is not a very common thing to put in your bread here in the Netherlands. It's very common in the US, but in the Netherlands we tend to just grab yeast, and baking soda is mostly known as a cleaning product, and we don't actually use it for anything else, really. Well, I see a very nice color here called Orange Crush, and I don't know if I want to put it underneath my eye. I think I want to grab this really golden thing. Maybe I'll do that here. Just a bit of crazy gold color down the middle. There you go. And then a little bit underneath, because why not? It's crazy time, so now we're going to put some crazy colors in my eyes. Okay, fine. There's some of that. But we did actually get some more toilet paper. That was available for sure. The yeast was gone, and most of the wheat was gone as well. The flour, I mean. And you only had the really expensive, like, special spelt flour things that most people don't need because they don't have, like, what do you call that again? Intolerances for certain flours. Gluten, that's the thing. Gluten intolerance, they don't really have that, so they don't really need the special wheats and everything. The gluten-free ones. So it was only the really expensive stuff, and I managed to find one that was pretty big. That was a regular, although it did say that it was like artisan style or something, and I thought, well, whatever, as long as it makes bread. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But we did have toilet paper available again, which is great. What was the other thing that was out? Rice. I didn't even go look at the rice because I'm pretty sure people are still buying a lot of rice, expecting like a total lockdown. And who knows, that might happen, I don't know. Either way, food-wise, I'm okay, and I'm actually okay entertainment-wise too, because I forgot to mention, I'm a pretty big introvert, gotta say, as introverts go. And the thing is, I'm looking at what I want to do next. I think I'll go for, nope, for some mascara right here. I got this Rimmel London stuff that I got a while back. So yeah, I'm an introvert, and I have a lot of hobbies that I like to do at home. Just before this whole Corona thing started, I just found some wool skeins at a store nearby, and because I've been looking for wool and natural fiber clothing, I thought, oh, that's great, I can make myself a nice scarf out of that. So that's what I'm doing time to time, just making my own clothes and things. Well, clothes. I do have a sewing machine since recently, so I want to start using that as well, but I want to get one of those mannequin model things that I can pin stuff on and then try to make my own outfits that way. But I'm not very confident with a sewing machine because the thing tends to get stuck, the thread, and then I don't know how to unstuck it, so that's not always going to be an issue. It seems very complicated to me, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those things that as soon as you figure it out, it'll be great. I never do the bottom lashes. Do you guys do the bottom lashes? The bottom lashes tend to get stuff on them without me actually trying, and that's great. I see that the color of my eyelids did not reach my eyelashes. That's an issue. And it's because I did not have a brush on me. I should have grabbed one. Am I doing this side right? Okay. Lighting is making it a little difficult. Yep. This one's missing. And it's in my hair. So yeah. People are looking for new hobbies. Download a language learning app like Duolingo or Memrise or something along those lines. Memrise is actually a little better, I think, because then you get people who actually pronounce like the words and sentences that you want to learn, and not just like that you hear it, but you also see a person in a setting saying a certain word, and then you may be able to connect it a little better with the situation and remember, oh yeah, that's the thing. Of course, I'm currently trying to learn Japanese, and sometimes they'll do the calligraphy thing, like they'll draw the symbol and then you look at the symbol and like how it's written in the app itself, and there's two different things there. I'm not really sure how they figure that, how that works. But yeah, like "re" I think is written a certain way, but then the guy who puts it on the paper with the nice brush and everything, he does something completely different. So I don't know how that works. Maybe it's just like a local thing, or how that got through checking, quality checking, no idea. Anyway, I have this thing here, Essence Stay 8 Hours Lip Liner, which I'm going to use to outline this. That means I'm not going to be able to talk much for a moment. Not that that'll be a problem for you, but I'm just saying. Now watch the color that I put in the middle be completely different from the lip liner, but we'll see. So yeah, get a hobby. Everybody says that, of course, but if learning languages is not your thing, you're not much of an arts and crafts person, what else could you do? Write something, maybe? Write a story. You don't have to start with a book immediately, just something, short stories. Maybe you can get some other people on board. You could do like first one person writes something, then the next person, to try getting like a little story going back and forth. You can always, of course, try that with your friends online as well. Let's try this. By the way, this is Calabasas, Jeffree Star. I don't know if that's going to match, but we'll find out shortly. It will have to do, I think. So yeah, that's basically vlog 1 done. Let me know if you enjoyed that, if there's any questions you'd like to ask as well. Question number 1, am I going to go out looking like this? No, because nobody's going to go out anywhere if it's not critical, and I don't need to go to the grocery store. I literally just wanted to play with some makeup. And I don't really go anywhere looking like this, honestly. Whenever I put this on, immediately afterwards I just wipe it all off again because it's just fun to put on, but I wouldn't walk outside looking like this. Phew, I hear some people thinking, okay, great. So that's it, vlog 1 done, that's right, I just said that. Let me know what you think, let me know your own experiences. What have you experienced? Are people keeping their distance around you? Did I forget to finish a story or two? Then I'll have to do that again in the next one. If I do another one, we'll have to see. Either way, thanks for watching, and give it a thumbs up, and bye-bye for now.